All right. The psychology of financial wisdom. Side. Good. So, how do we make financial decisions? Well, traditionally, finance assumes that people are rational and they make decisions to maximize profits, maximize their wealth. But in reality, we're influenced heavily by emotions and habits. So you can put our financial decision making and our thinking into two different systems of thinking. So system one, which is on the next slide, is where we spend most of our thinking throughout our day. Really simple stuff like brushing our teeth, driving to work, eating food. So it's impulsive and emotional. And unfortunately, sometimes people make financial decisions in this way of thinking. An example would be like you're sad one night and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to the store, get some ice cream, and you spent $8 on just a couple servings of ice cream. Um, and system two is where we spend much less of our thinking. It's about 5%. And it's much more logical, deliberate, and intentional. Our brain is basically able to take a step back and slow down and say, I need to make an important choice because this could be a big deal. And so this is great for investing, saving, and spending, like buying a house, for example. Buying a house is a really big deal, and people are almost forced to slow down and make sure this is the right house, the right price, get a right loan and a mortgage. Um, and so, how can we use this? Um, well, for example, let's say you're at the store and you see a shirt that's $100 and it was marked down to $40. You're originally going to think, oh, what a great deal. I should get the shirt. But system two would say, I wasn't even planning on getting a shirt. Or if you're using a credit card and you're like, oh, I'm just going to put this little $20 expense on my credit card, system two would say, this is going to add up over time and I really don't need this. So now Rowan's going to talk about investing.
Yeah, so when it comes to the psychology of investing, when most people think of about investing, they think about numbers, stocks, and strategies. But in reality, what actually destroys a majority of the wealth when
of your finances, as well as supporting different goals that you are working towards to obtain for whatever plans you've created. So it just gives you more security. Then for the psychological impact of long-term saving ultimately builds discipline and patience, which is why the reward is so much more fruitful. It encourages you to think ahead instead of spending impulsively. It's easy to spend impulsively because we live in a quick gratification culture, where we have things like at our touch, like whatever we might think of when need, we can get in the moment. But it teaches that delayed gratification, and just leads to better decision making. And over time, this creates confidence and a stronger sense of security in your life and in your financial decisions. So in the end, saving helps build not just financial stability, but a more confident and prepared future, which ultimately has a better impact on the local economy, and then just you as a person in your own spending and saving habits.
Okay. Skip this slide. I don't know what that slide is. It's not
Okay.
mine. Okay. So my segment is on building good financial habits and also having 3 steps that you can start today to start that. So a 2024 Bank of America report found that 57% of Gen Z do not have enough saved to cover 3 months of expenses. The real reason for this isn't laziness, but it's availability. If money is in your checking account, it will get spent faster. The fix isn't better discipline, it's automation. So setting up automatic transfers to your savings account the same day you get paid, even just $25 a week, becomes $1,300 a year. So by doing this, you can remove willpower from the equation and treat savings as a bill that you'll never skip. Next slide, please. So the second thing I want to talk about is the 50-30-20 rule. So once you have money coming in, you'll need a framework to handle it. And the 50-30-20 rule says 50% of your take home goes to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings and debt. I'd argue that the exact percentages matter less than the awareness that this framework creates, because research from the Journal of Consumer Affairs shows that young adults who engage with their finances, even just going so far as labeling where their money goes, make measurably better financial decisions. Next slide, please. So this is how to beat your bad habits. Most financial advice skips behavioral biases like this, but even financially literate people can fall for them every day. The first one is present bias. So this is where you'll value $20 today more than $200 next year. And you can fight this by making the future feel concrete with goals and vision and visuals. Next is lifestyle inflation. This is when your spending goes up just as fast as your income, so you can never gain real wealth. Every raise silently gets absorbed into spending. To avoid this, you can lock in a 1 to 5% savings increase every time you get a raise. Next, anchoring bias makes something on sale feel like savings when in reality you didn't really need that item in the first place. So always ask yourself if you would buy this item at full price before purchasing items that are on sale. And finally, mental accounting is basically when you let emotions get in the way of your decision making. So like if you were to have a tax refund or gifted money to you, it might feel like free money that you can use to splurge on excessive luxuries, but it's not. All money is equal. So make sure you give every dollar a job within 24 hours of receiving it. Next slide. Finally, I have a 3-step action plan that you can start today to improve your financial habits. Start by opening a high yield savings account and set one auto transfer amount that's right for you. Next, track all of your purchases for 30 days with that 50-30-20 rule in mind. And finally, identify one of the cognitive biases that you tend to fall for. That's like